The internet woke up to chaos when 50 Cent, a man known for turning silence into strategy, suddenly broke his own rule and went off, publicly, loudly, and without warning. What started as whispers behind the scenes has now exploded into one of the messiest celebrity clashes you've seen in a long time. And at the center of it all stands Claressa Shields, a champion who is no stranger to fighting battles, but this time, the ring is social media, and the punches are personal. It all began with rumors. Quiet at first, screenshots circulating in private circles, messages that were never meant to be seen. And then, without any clear confirmation, fans started connecting the dots. Suddenly, accusations began to fly that 50 Cent had access to private conversations, and worse, that he might have leaked them. That is when everything changed. Claressa did not stay quiet. In fact, she did the opposite. She stepped forward, voice sharp, emotions high, and made it very clear that she was not playing games. According to sources close to the situation, she threatened legal action, warning that if those messages were real and if they came from him, there would be consequences. Serious ones. That is when 50 Cent snapped. What followed was a storm of posts, cryptic captions, and statements that only raised more questions than answers. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and just when people thought it could not get worse, insiders began hinting that this feud might go deeper than anyone expected. Old tensions, hidden connections, and a story that has been building long before the public ever noticed. Now you are left wondering, who is telling the truth, and what exactly was said in those messages that has everyone on edge? Nobody saw this coming, and if you blinked, you probably missed the exact moment things went from playful shade to full-blown chaos. Because what started as a quiet, almost forgettable comment suddenly turned into an all-out digital war when 50 Cent flipped the switch and went into what fans are now calling his most ruthless petty mode yet, in the target. None other than Papoose. Now you already know 50 doesn't do anything halfway. When he decides to press a button, he presses it all the way down. But this time, this felt different. This wasn't just trolling. This felt calculated, personal, almost like something had been building behind the scenes for a long time. It all began with a subtle jab, the kind that most people would ignore, but not 50. Within hours, screenshots started circulating, cryptic captions, old clips resurfacing, and then came the posts that had fans refreshing their feeds every 5 seconds. One after another, 50 kept escalating, digging deeper, pulling receipts that nobody even knew existed. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and just when people thought it couldn't get worse, 50 dropped something that made the entire situation explode overnight. Meanwhile, Papoose wasn't staying silent either. Sources close to him say he was furious, blindsided, and ready to respond in a way that could change how everyone sees this situation. And as both sides began to pull others into the drama, the tension started spilling beyond just the two of them. Friends picked sides, old alliances started cracking, and suddenly, what looked like a simple online exchange turned into a situation that had the entire hip-hop circle watching closely. Because now, this isn't just about ego. It's about respect, and when respect is on the line, things can get very messy, very fast. The moment 50 Cent hit post, everything shifted from rumor to full-blown chaos. The clip was short, barely a minute, but it carried enough weight to shake both fans and critics. He did not name anyone directly at first, but the tone was sharp, almost mocking, like he knew exactly who would respond. And it did not take long before Claressa Shields stepped right into the fire. She went live within hours, her face tense, voice steady but carrying that edge you only hear when someone feels cornered and disrespected at the same time. She did not hesitate. She spoke about privacy, about betrayal, about how certain lines should never be crossed. And then she said something that made the entire situation explode even further. She claimed there were messages, real messages, that had been taken out of context and twisted into something ugly. Fans are shocked, and the comments started pouring in faster than anyone could keep up. People close to her began posting cryptic support, friends hinting that she had been dealing with pressure behind the scenes for weeks. One close associate wrote that not everything online tells the truth and that some people thrive on creating chaos. At the same time, others were quietly suggesting that this was not the first time tensions had surfaced between the two. There were whispers of past interactions, subtle disagreements that never made headlines but now seemed to matter. Then came the screenshots. They appeared without warning, blurry at first, then clearer versions began to circulate. Short exchanges, fragments of conversations, nothing fully explained but enough to spark endless speculation. Some fans believed they were real, others insisted they were edited. Still, the damage was already done. Emotions ran high, and suddenly everyone had an opinion. Some accused 50 Cent of crossing a line, while others questioned Claressa's reaction, asking why she seemed so affected if there was nothing to hide. Behind the scenes, the situation was getting even more intense. Sources claimed that legal teams had been contacted, that discussions were happening quietly while the public drama continued to grow louder. Claressa's camp reportedly warned that if any more private material surfaced, they would move forward with a lawsuit without hesitation. Those close to her described her as frustrated but focused, determined not to let the situation spiral without consequences. Meanwhile, 50 Cent leaned into the chaos. Instead of stepping back, he posted again, this time more direct, more pointed. His caption hinted at truth coming out, at people exposing themselves without realizing it. It was the kind of message that leaves room for interpretation but hits hard enough to keep everyone talking. Fans are shocked, and some even started digging into past interviews, looking for clues, trying to piece together how this situation escalated so quickly. And then something unexpected happened. A former mutual contact, someone who had interacted with both of them in the past, decided to speak out. They did not reveal everything, but they confirmed that there had been communication between 50 Cent and Claressa before all of this. According to them, the tone had not always been negative. In fact, there were moments that seemed friendly, even supportive. That revelation only added fuel to the fire, because now people were asking the real question. What changed? Claressa returned online later that night, and this time her message was more emotional. She spoke about respect, about how success does not give anyone the right to play with someone else's name. Her voice cracked slightly at one point, and that moment spread everywhere. Emotions ran high, and even those who had been neutral started to feel the weight of the situation. The family was left divided, fans arguing in comment sections, choosing sides without fully knowing the truth. But just when it seemed like the situation had reached its peak, another twist surfaced. An anonymous account dropped a longer thread, claiming to have insider knowledge. The thread suggested that the leaked messages were only a small part of a much bigger story, one that involved business discussions, misunderstandings, and possibly even broken trust. No proof was given, but the timing was enough to keep the conversation alive. Fans are shocked, and many began to wonder if this feud was less about personal conflict and more about something deeper. Through it all, one thing remained clear. Neither side was backing down. 50 Cent continued to post in his signature style, mixing humor with subtle jabs, never fully explaining but never staying silent either. Claressa stood firm, repeating her stance, making it known that she would protect her name at all costs. The tension between them grew heavier with each passing hour, and the story refused to slow down. And as the night stretched on, the question that started it all only became louder. If those messages were never meant to be seen, then how did they end up in the public eye? And who really stands to gain from all of this chaos? And that question lingered into the next day, growing heavier as more voices entered the conversation. The silence from both camps in the early hours only made things worse. Fans refreshed their feeds, waiting, watching, trying to catch the next move before it even happened. Then suddenly, 50 Cent broke that silence again, and this time there was no room for interpretation. He posted a longer message, direct and unapologetic, addressing the situation head-on. He denied leaking anything, calling the accusations weak and saying people were trying to attach his name to something he had nothing to do with. But it was not just a denial. There was a tone of frustration, almost anger, as if he felt targeted in a way that crossed his own boundaries. He even hinted that someone else might be behind the leaks, someone trying to stir chaos while staying hidden. That statement did not calm things down. It made everything louder. Within minutes, Claressa Shields responded, and her reply carried a different kind of energy. She did not shout. She did not insult. Instead, she spoke with a controlled intensity that made people stop and listen. She said she knew what she had seen, she knew where certain messages came from, and she was not going to be made to look confused or desperate. Fans are shocked, because the tone felt personal, like there was more history between them than anyone had realized. People close to the situation began revealing small details, each one adding another layer to the story. One insider claimed that Claressa had trusted someone in a shared circle, someone who had access to private conversations. Another suggested that the messages might have been passed around long before they reached the public. Suddenly, it was no longer just about 50 Cent and Claressa. It was about trust, loyalty, and the quiet networks that exist behind celebrity interactions. And then the pressure started showing. Claressa appeared again, this time not live, but in a recorded message. Her voice was calmer, but her eyes told a different story. She spoke about how exhausting it is to defend yourself when people twist your words, how quickly the internet turns uncertainty into judgment. She said she had worked too hard to build her name, to have it dragged into something messy without context. Emotions ran high, and for a moment, even critics softened their stance. But just as sympathy began to shift in her favor, another twist hit. A second set of screenshots surfaced, and these were different. Longer, more detailed, showing exchanges that painted a more complicated picture. Some of the messages seemed friendly, almost playful, while others hinted at tension that had been building quietly over time. The biggest shock came from one particular line that fans could not stop discussing, a line that suggested a disagreement had already happened long before any leak. The internet split instantly. Some people argued that the messages proved Claressa's point, that things had been taken out of context and weaponized against her. Others claimed the opposite, saying the tone of certain replies raised questions about what really happened behind closed doors. Fans are shocked, and the arguments grew louder, more personal, as strangers debated a story they only partially understood. Meanwhile, 50 Cent reacted in a way no one expected. Instead of posting another statement, he went live briefly, appearing relaxed, almost amused. He laughed at some of the accusations, dismissed others, and repeated that he had nothing to do with any leak. But then he said something that shifted the energy again. He suggested that people should look closer at who benefits from this kind of chaos, hinting that the real story had not even been uncovered yet. That comment changed everything. Suddenly, attention moved beyond the two of them. Fans began speculating about third parties, hidden motives, and possible betrayals within their circles. Names started to surface, unconfirmed and often baseless, but enough to keep the conversation alive. The family was left divided, not just between supporters of 50 Cent and Claressa, but among those who believed there was a deeper, unseen player in this situation. Behind closed doors, things were reportedly becoming more serious. Sources claimed that Claressa's legal team had begun preparing documents, gathering evidence, and reviewing every piece of content that had been shared online. They were not just focused on the leak itself, but on the damage it caused, the way narratives had been shaped without proof. At the same time, people close to 50 Cent insisted that he was also exploring his options, unwilling to let his name be tied to something he claims he did not do. And then came the confrontation everyone had been waiting for, though it did not happen in person. Claressa posted a final message late that night, addressing 50 Cent directly. She spoke about accountability, about how silence and jokes can sometimes say more than clear answers. She told him that if he truly had nothing to do with the situation, then he should stand firm and help reveal the truth instead of playing around it. Her words were sharp but measured, leaving no room for misinterpretation. For a brief moment, everything went quiet again. No posts, no lives, no new leaks. Just tension hanging in the air, as if both sides were deciding their next move carefully. Fans are shocked, refreshing their feeds, waiting for the next piece of this puzzle to drop. And just when it seemed like things might finally slow down, a new voice prepared to enter the story, someone whose connection to both sides could change everything and raise a question that no one had been asking until now. What if the real truth has been sitting in plain sight the entire time, hidden not in the messages themselves, but in who chose to reveal them and why? The morning after the confrontation, the atmosphere online was electric. Every notification felt like a countdown to another revelation. Fans speculated non-stop, and every comment section became a battlefield. 50 Cent had remained silent overnight, but Claressa did not. She shared a cryptic story, a short video of her walking past a boxing gym, gloves slung over her shoulder, her expression unreadable. The caption was minimal. Truth always finds its way. Fans are shocked, dissecting every frame, every gesture, convinced that hidden in that casual walk was a message meant only for him. Insiders said that tension between them had been simmering for months, long before the screenshots surfaced. One source revealed that during a private event months earlier, words were exchanged. Words that were sharp enough to leave lingering resentment but private enough to stay off social media. That small spark, when combined with the leaked messages, may have ignited the blaze fans now witnessed. The family was left divided, not literally, but socially, with friends, fans, and even collaborators choosing sides based on partial evidence and assumptions. Meanwhile, 50 Cent decided to address the rumors in a way only he could. A late-night post appeared, short and pointed. He said, "Some people thrive on conflict because chaos sells better than truth." He called out unnamed individuals, hinted at betrayals, and claimed that there were forces working behind the scenes trying to manipulate the narrative. The post immediately went viral, sparking new debates. Fans are shocked at the cryptic nature, emotions ran high, and countless threads emerged analyzing the subtext, reading into tone, emojis, and timing. Claressa responded hours later, and this time her approach was more confrontational. She shared an open letter on her platform, emphasizing accountability and respect, stating that no one, not even a celebrity with millions, had the right to weaponize private conversations. The words hit harder than any punch in the ring, because they were precise, calculated, and emotional. Fans were moved, some siding strongly with her, others questioning the origins of the leaked material. The drama intensified, and the internet had a front row seat. But then came a new twist. An anonymous source released additional screenshots, claiming to show 50 Cent communicating with a third party about the messages before they became public. The tone of these messages was playful, almost casual, but they hinted at knowledge that fueled the fire. Some believed it was proof of complicity. Others insisted it was misdirection, a deliberate setup to make him look guilty. The speculation exploded, and discussions flooded every platform. The family was left divided further, and alliances shifted rapidly. As the hours passed, more voices joined the fray. Former collaborators, friends, and even other celebrities weighed in, offering opinions and interpretations, some supportive, others critical. Every statement was analyzed, every past tweet or post re-examined, and suddenly a network of connections began to form in the public eye. The feud was no longer just between 50 Cent and Claressa. It involved a wider circle of personalities, each with their own stakes, secrets, and potential biases. Fans are shocked at the unfolding complexity, emotions ran high, and every move seemed to spark another wave of speculation. Meanwhile, the tension began affecting live appearances. Claressa reportedly canceled several interviews, citing the need to focus on her own well-being and the integrity of the situation. 50 Cent, known for his bold public statements, also scaled back his usual barrage of posts, though insiders suggested he was strategizing privately. The drama, while amplified online, had begun to seep into real-life interactions, creating an atmosphere thick with anticipation, suspicion, and caution. And then came the confrontation everyone had been waiting for, though it did not happen face-to-face. During an online Q&A, fans asked pointed questions, attempting to force admissions or clarifications. Claressa remained measured but direct, hinting at knowledge that had yet to be revealed. She stated that accountability would come not from words but actions, and that patience was a weapon in itself. Fans dissected every response, convinced that hidden truths were encoded in her tone, phrasing, and pauses. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided further, with supporters clinging to any detail that validated their perspective. 50 Cent's next move added fuel to the fire. He shared a meme on his platform, a subtle jab wrapped in humor, implying that not everything online was what it seemed. Fans are shocked by the boldness, dissecting every angle, every implication. Insiders suggested that this was a calculated move, designed to distract and provoke simultaneously. The tension built as both sides appeared to navigate a complex interplay of public perception, personal pride, and strategic timing. The drama intensified, every new post a potential escalation. Meanwhile, speculation about the legal angle grew louder. Sources close to Claressa's camp hinted at prepared filings, potential lawsuits, and demands for public clarifications. 50 Cent's team reportedly countered with legal counsel, aiming to manage risk while maintaining public dominance in the narrative. The dynamic was tense, emotions ran high, fans are shocked at the unfolding strategic maneuvers, and even those outside the immediate drama were compelled to follow closely. The situation had transcended a simple feud and evolved into a multi-layered spectacle, combining reputation, public image, and the stakes of private information suddenly in the spotlight. Just as it seemed the feud could not escalate further, an unexpected revelation emerged. A mutual acquaintance posted that long before the leak, there had been discussions and disagreements that went unnoticed publicly but carried significant weight behind the scenes. This added depth, suggesting that the conflict had roots deeper than just the messages, involving trust, past promises, and long-standing tensions. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and every online conversation began to weave together past events, speculating on what had been said, what was omitted, and who truly benefited from the chaos. The tension carried into the next week, and every minor detail seemed magnified. Fans dissected old interviews, past posts, and casual comments for hidden meanings, trying to decode the feud before it evolved again. 50 Cent had remained mostly quiet, letting the storm rage around him, but his silence was strategic. Insiders reported he was consulting closely with his team, reviewing every angle, every potential legal or PR maneuver. Meanwhile, Claressa appeared in selective media spots, her demeanor calm but guarded, emphasizing integrity and the need to protect one's reputation from false narratives. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as even close allies debated what truth lay beneath the surface. Then came another unexpected turn. A series of posts surfaced showing alleged private messages between Claressa and an unnamed individual, hinting at frustrations about the situation long before the leak. Some of the exchanges suggested that she had anticipated someone using personal messages against her, a move that made the feud appear more calculated than spontaneous. The internet exploded. Fans argued over authenticity, context, and motives, creating new waves of speculation that kept every thread alive and buzzing. Emotions ran high, and no one could predict which side would gain ground next. 50 Cent, recognizing the momentum was tilting, decided to act. He posted a brief video, casual but loaded with subtext. He laughed lightly, shook his head, and said, "Y'all think you know everything, but truth doesn't always make headlines." Fans are shocked at his cryptic tone, dissecting every word. Insiders hinted that he was not just defending himself but also hinting at a bigger picture, one that had yet to be revealed publicly. The family was left divided further, with supporters choosing sides not based solely on actions but on interpretation, loyalty, and perceived alignment with personal narratives. As this unfolded, whispers of a third party intensified. Anonymous accounts claimed that someone close to both Claressa and 50 Cent had manipulated conversations, leaked information, and even encouraged the public frenzy. Speculation soared, and the story expanded beyond a feud into a complex web of alliances, betrayals, and hidden motives. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and discussion forums exploded with debates, conspiracy theories, and theories about who truly orchestrated the chaos. Claressa, sensing the growing pressure, addressed her followers in a detailed post. She stressed that privacy was sacred, that messages could be manipulated, and that intentions could be misconstrued. She reminded her audience that loyalty, trust, and respect were more important than public validation. Fans were inspired, but the post also reignited curiosity about the original messages. The family was left divided socially and emotionally, as supporters and critics each dissected the tone, timing, and phrasing. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's response was subtle but calculated. He engaged selectively with media, dropping hints that pointed toward strategic misdirection. His team reportedly worked behind the scenes to manage the narrative, ensuring that leaks, real or fabricated, could be framed in a way that supported his credibility. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts noted that this feud had evolved into a chess match, with each side anticipating moves, countermoves, and potential missteps that could shift public perception instantly. Then came another twist. A viral post surfaced with alleged insider information, claiming that both parties had been aware of leaks before they became public. This implied premeditation and fueled arguments that the feud might be less about morality and more about image, control, and strategy. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story gained new depth, with many beginning to see the conflict as multidimensional rather than a simple dispute. As the week progressed, the feud affected interactions beyond social media. Business partners, collaborators, and mutual friends reportedly navigated conversations carefully, knowing that any misstep could be interpreted as taking sides. The pressure intensified. Claressa and 50 Cent continued to post selectively, each maintaining a public persona while privately planning next moves. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and every new development sent waves through online communities, keeping the story alive and unpredictable. And just when it seemed the situation had reached a plateau, an insider claimed that the leaked messages were only the tip of the iceberg. According to them, there were private communications spanning months, hinting at tension, miscommunication, and even covert alliances. This revelation shifted attention yet again. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the public began considering that the feud was more intricate and layered than anyone had imagined. The family was left divided, not just in allegiance but in understanding, as every statement and post became a clue in a larger, unfolding puzzle. The dynamic between 50 Cent and Claressa had transformed. What started as accusations over leaked texts had become a story about trust, reputation, power, and influence. Each post, comment, and cryptic video added fuel to the fire. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts debated how far the narrative would stretch, how long it would stay in public consciousness, and what consequences might emerge from the most subtle of actions. The internet watched every move, knowing that even the smallest slip could ignite the next wave of drama. The drama escalated even further when reports surfaced that both camps had consulted outside advisors, people who specialized in controlling public perception during high-stakes celebrity conflicts. Sources claimed that 50 Cent's team focused on timing, subtle messaging, and legal positioning, while Claressa's advisors emphasized integrity, public support, and protecting her brand. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided even more as whispers of strategy and manipulation filled every comment thread. Just when it seemed the feud might stabilize, a new leak appeared. This time it wasn't messages, but video clips from a private gym session that allegedly showed Claressa discussing frustrations related to the situation. Though nothing incriminating, the clips were enough to spark debate. Some viewers interpreted her expressions and tone as proof of calculated preparation. Others insisted she was reacting naturally to stress. Emotions ran high, and fans argued over intent, authenticity, and the broader context. The drama deepened, and the public's attention sharpened with each passing hour. 50 Cent responded with subtle humor, posting a series of photos from past events with captions that teased familiarity and inside knowledge. The posts were ambiguous, sparking speculation about whether he was mocking the leaks, pointing at third-party involvement, or simply maintaining his public persona. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and online communities exploded with interpretations. Every comment section became a field of debate, and the family was left divided as supporters aligned with perceived cleverness or moral high ground. Claressa's next move took a different angle. She shared a heartfelt post about resilience, privacy, and the importance of standing up for oneself. She wrote about the exhaustion of defending a reputation while the world speculates, and she called for loyalty from those around her. The message was both a personal statement and a public declaration. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts noted how her approach contrasted with 50 Cent's, focusing less on provocation and more on values, yet still keeping the spotlight firmly on the feud. Then came another twist that no one anticipated. A previously unknown third-party account posted screenshots suggesting coordination between individuals within both camps. The messages hinted at intentional leaks, timing manipulation, and efforts to make the feud appear more personal than it might have been. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and theories multiplied. The narrative now suggested that neither side was entirely innocent, and the drama expanded beyond 50 Cent and Claressa, involving a hidden network of players with unknown motives. Amid this chaos, 50 Cent released a short, cryptic statement directly addressing the ongoing speculation. He claimed that truth is often hidden behind perception, that some people profit from confusion, and that patience would reveal reality. The post was careful yet pointed, leaving fans desperate to interpret meaning. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided, not only along supporter lines but also in interpreting who truly held moral authority in the saga. Claressa's response came later the same evening, calm yet firm. She emphasized accountability, authenticity, and protecting one's name. She warned against manipulation and reminded followers that the narrative was incomplete, that assumptions could be misleading. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts pointed out that her communication style contrasted sharply with 50 Cent's, favoring clarity and moral weight over ambiguity and spectacle. Yet the tension continued, leaving the story unresolved and the public enthralled. As the feud unfolded, rumors about potential legal actions gained traction. Insiders claimed that both sides were preparing, reviewing communications, and assessing possible outcomes. Discussions about damages, defamation, and reputation management surfaced in social media threads and news outlets. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story took on new layers, combining legal stakes with personal rivalry. The family was left divided socially, emotionally, and professionally, with every ally having to navigate carefully to avoid public judgment. The narrative shifted again when a mutual acquaintance hinted that some past misunderstandings may have been intentionally exaggerated. Messages, comments, and interactions from months prior were being revisited and reframed, making the feud appear longer and more calculated than it initially seemed. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and debates surged online, each side presenting evidence to support their view. The story's complexity deepened, with layers of perception, timing, and hidden agendas influencing public reaction. Just as it seemed the situation might settle, yet another round of screenshots appeared. These messages suggested strategic coordination, private frustrations, and subtle provocations. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the feud now had dimensions far beyond the original accusation. Every post, story, and comment was analyzed, with followers attempting to decode the intent, assign blame, and predict next moves. The family was left divided not just by loyalty but by interpretation, making the drama feel both personal and universally compelling. The tension between 50 Cent and Claressa showed no sign of easing. Social media had become a battlefield where every subtle gesture, every ambiguous statement, and every post could spark renewed speculation. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story evolved into a layered saga of strategy, perception, and public influence. The feud had grown far beyond private messages, becoming a spectacle that demanded attention, with no clear resolution in sight, leaving everyone eager for the next revelation. By now, the feud had taken on a life of its own. Every day brought new posts, new leaks, and fresh speculation. Fans dissected every interaction, searching for clues about motive, intent, and alliance. 50 Cent maintained a carefully curated mix of humor and cryptic commentary, keeping followers guessing while subtly reminding them of his influence. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided, with supporters picking sides based on perceived cleverness, moral high ground, or loyalty to history and reputation. Claressa responded with measured intensity, posting videos in which she walked through gyms, training spaces, and quiet streets, her captions focusing on resilience, integrity, and personal accountability. The tone was calm, yet her words cut deep. She emphasized that true power lies in controlling your narrative and refusing to let misinformation define you. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts noted how her approach contrasted with 50 Cent's provocative style, building tension while appealing to moral and emotional authority. The saga grew more tangled when another round of leaked content appeared, suggesting that both parties had been in communication regarding certain messages long before the public knew. Some exchanges appeared casual, others tense, hinting at a complicated relationship filled with miscommunication, strategic maneuvers, and moments of trust broken and restored. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and discussion forums exploded with debate. The family was left divided further, as supporters, critics, and casual observers analyzed intent and authenticity. As the public spectacle unfolded, the media landscape exploded. Every outlet, from mainstream news to niche social media pages, dissected each development. Headlines questioned morality, celebrity behavior, and privacy, fueling more engagement. 50 Cent's cryptic posts were parsed for hidden meaning, while Claressa's calm, precise statements were celebrated as examples of self-control in a toxic environment. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story became more than a feud. It became a case study in influence, perception, and public narrative. Then came a major twist. A new insider revealed that certain messages had been shared between friends and confidants, not intended for public eyes. The revelation suggested that some leaked material might have been manipulated or selectively presented, adding another layer of uncertainty. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story deepened. The family was left divided, with debates about credibility, interpretation, and motive dominating social media discussions. 50 Cent, never one to remain passive, followed this twist with subtle engagement. He shared old footage, ambiguous captions, and selective interactions, hinting that the narrative had more dimensions than people realized. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and every move was scrutinized, creating a sense of ongoing tension and suspense. Observers speculated about strategy, intention, and timing, wondering if each post was reactive or proactive, calculated or spontaneous. Claressa responded by doubling down on clarity and accountability. She emphasized that context mattered and warned against jumping to conclusions. Her statements focused on truth, responsibility, and the consequences of misrepresentation, resonating with supporters while keeping tension high. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the public's fascination grew, as each subtle action seemed to escalate the situation while revealing little about the full story. As the feud continued, rumors of legal action circulated. Insiders suggested that both parties were consulting legal teams, preparing documentation, and assessing reputational risk. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and discussion forums debated potential outcomes, speculating about lawsuits, settlements, and public apologies. The family was left divided socially, emotionally, and strategically, with every ally navigating carefully to avoid being drawn into the controversy. Just when the situation seemed almost predictable, another twist emerged. Screenshots appeared showing possible communication between a third-party mediator and both sides, hinting at attempts to manage or even exploit the feud. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and speculation about hidden motives, covert alliances, and the real source of leaks intensified. The narrative became increasingly layered, weaving together reputation, trust, strategy, and public perception. By now, the story had evolved far beyond simple accusations. 50 Cent and Claressa were locked in a dynamic that combined personal pride, reputation management, and strategic storytelling. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and every post, comment, and cryptic gesture became part of a larger puzzle. The family was left divided, supporters fractured, and the public captivated, anticipating the next move in a saga that refused to resolve and showed no signs of slowing. The tension escalated further when social media began buzzing with speculation about hidden alliances and subtle provocations that neither 50 Cent nor Claressa had explicitly addressed. Insiders claimed that the feud was no longer about leaked messages alone. It had grown into a story about influence, control, and who could dominate the narrative in a digital age. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as every minor detail was examined for hidden meaning, creating endless debates across platforms. Claressa, recognizing the evolving complexity, continued to share posts emphasizing self-respect, accountability, and the importance of managing personal reputation. She reminded her followers that public perception could be manipulated and that only those truly involved understood the full context. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts noted how her measured responses contrasted sharply with 50 Cent's provocative style, adding tension and deepening public fascination. Meanwhile, 50 Cent posted a series of short, cryptic videos, mixing humor with subtle jabs, leaving fans scrambling to interpret intent. His posts hinted that the feud might involve more than just personal conflict, suggesting strategic misdirection or external manipulation. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and speculation surged, with online communities dissecting each frame, caption, and timing to understand his motives and potential next moves. Then came another set of leaks, this time showing longer exchanges that included third-party intermediaries. The messages suggested that multiple individuals had access to private conversations and that some content had been selectively shared to create drama. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided further as supporters of each side debated authenticity, intent, and the true origins of the leaked material. The media, sensing an escalating spectacle, amplified every development. Outlets dissected each post, live-streamed reactions, and analyzed statements for hidden meaning. 50 Cent's cryptic humor and Claressa's calm precision fueled public fascination, creating a feedback loop of speculation and outrage. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and what began as a feud over messages had become a case study in celebrity influence, perception, and strategic communication. Claressa then shared a post highlighting the emotional toll of defending one's reputation while under constant public scrutiny. She stressed resilience, trust, and the importance of distinguishing truth from rumor. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts pointed out the contrast between her approach and 50 Cent's, noting how it added depth and moral weight to her public persona. The drama intensified, leaving the public captivated and eager for the next revelation. 50 Cent responded with selective engagement, sharing ambiguous posts that suggested awareness of the broader narrative and hinting at unseen forces at play. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and speculation about hidden agendas, strategic moves, and alliances proliferated online. The feud expanded beyond personal conflict, encompassing reputation, influence, and public perception. The family was left divided socially and emotionally as followers debated motives and credibility. As rumors of legal action grew, insiders suggested that both sides were preparing documentation and consulting with advisors. The stakes escalated, blending personal rivalry with potential legal consequences. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and every post, leak, or cryptic message was scrutinized for clues about possible lawsuits, settlements, or public clarifications. The drama became increasingly layered, reflecting both personal pride and strategic maneuvering. Another twist emerged when an anonymous source claimed that parts of the leaked content had been manipulated, intentionally framing events to favor one side. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and discussions intensified about authenticity, morality, and who truly benefited from the unfolding chaos. The narrative became more intricate, with hidden motives, misdirection, and digital strategies shaping public perception. Throughout it all, 50 Cent and Claressa maintained their distinct approaches, one provocative, the other measured, both strategically navigating the digital battlefield. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story evolved into a complex saga that blended personal conflict, public narrative, and strategic communication. The family was left divided, supporters fractured, and the audience riveted, watching each development with anticipation, knowing that every subtle move could redefine the feud. As the days passed, the situation intensified with each new revelation. Social media became a relentless arena, where every post, comment, or cryptic story fueled speculation. 50 Cent remained strategically provocative, dropping hints and subtle jabs, his humor masking frustration while keeping fans guessing. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as supporters debated whether his actions were calculated defense, playful misdirection, or outright provocation. Claressa responded with measured intensity, posting reflective videos and captions emphasizing integrity, accountability, and self-respect. She addressed her audience directly, speaking about how reputation could be manipulated, how trust could be broken, and the importance of maintaining composure under pressure. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts noted that her calm approach added moral weight to her side of the feud, creating a compelling contrast with 50 Cent's provocative strategy. Then came another dramatic twist. New screenshots appeared, this time allegedly showing private communications between Claressa and an unidentified third party, suggesting that plans had been discussed regarding the handling of private messages before they leaked. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided further, with supporters interpreting the messages differently depending on their allegiance, some seeing premeditation, others interpreting them as defensive measures. The media amplified every development, dissecting posts, analyzing tones, and speculating about unseen influences. 50 Cent's cryptic posts and selective engagement fueled further curiosity, while Claressa's calm, principled statements strengthened her narrative. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and discussions spanned social media platforms, creating a multi-layered narrative of strategy, reputation, and perception. The feud had grown far beyond a simple personal dispute into a public spectacle with high stakes. As pressure mounted, rumors about potential legal action intensified. Insiders claimed that both sides were consulting lawyers, preparing documentation, and reviewing every leaked message for strategy and impact. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and speculation about defamation lawsuits, public clarifications, and behind-the-scenes negotiations dominated conversations. The family was left divided socially and emotionally, as friends, collaborators, and fans navigated the evolving drama carefully. Then came another twist. An anonymous source suggested that a third party had been manipulating exchanges, selectively leaking information to maximize drama and confusion. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the story became increasingly layered, with trust, strategy, and public perception all in play. The narrative now suggested that neither side was fully in control, and that unseen forces were shaping how the feud unfolded for maximum attention. 50 Cent responded subtly, sharing content that hinted at awareness of the manipulation while maintaining his bold public persona. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and online communities dissected his every word and gesture, interpreting meaning and intent. Each post fueled further debate, speculation, and intrigue, keeping the feud alive and unpredictable. The family was left divided, with followers analyzing every nuance and deciding who held moral authority. Claressa then posted a reflective message, focusing on resilience, patience, and the importance of standing firm in the face of misinformation. She emphasized that truth often emerges over time and that protecting one's reputation required careful attention and strategic decisions. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and her message reinforced the perception of strength and integrity, even as the situation continued to escalate. As the narrative evolved, additional leaks and cryptic posts continued to surface, suggesting deeper complexities and hidden motives behind the feud. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and analysts highlighted how the situation had transformed into a multi-dimensional saga involving personal pride, reputation management, strategy, and the influence of digital platforms. The family was left divided, supporters fractured, and the public captivated, eagerly anticipating the next revelation in a story that refused to settle. By now, the feud had become a full-blown spectacle, combining personal conflict, strategic maneuvering, and public perception. Every action from 50 Cent and Claressa was scrutinized, every subtle gesture debated, and every post analyzed for hidden meaning. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family remained divided, as supporters, critics, and casual observers alike followed the saga obsessively, knowing that any next move could dramatically shift the narrative yet again. And just when it felt like the story could not get any more tangled, a final wave of revelations hit. New screenshots, cryptic posts, and insider claims flooded social media, showing that the feud between 50 Cent and Claressa Shields had layers no one could have predicted. The exchanges hinted at long-standing tensions, misunderstandings, and carefully calculated moves from both sides. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as supporters argued endlessly about who was truly in the right and who had orchestrated the chaos from behind the scenes. The stakes had grown beyond personal pride. Now it was about reputation, influence, and controlling the narrative in a world that thrives on drama and speculation. Both sides continued to maintain their distinct approaches. 50 Cent, with his cryptic humor and strategic ambiguity, kept fans guessing and analysts theorizing. Claressa, calm but firm, highlighted integrity, accountability, and the importance of protecting one's name. The contrasts only fueled curiosity, leaving audiences enthralled and desperate to understand the full picture. Every post, video, or comment became a potential clue, sparking debates that showed no signs of slowing. Emotions ran high, fans were divided, and the saga had become more than a feud. It had transformed into a cultural event, a digital drama that captured attention across platforms. As the dust settled, even briefly, questions remained unanswered. Who leaked the messages first? Were there hidden alliances? What will happen next between 50 Cent and Claressa Shields? The speculation, the tension, and the drama continue to dominate conversations, keeping the story alive in ways that few conflicts ever achieve. Every fan has a theory, every observer a prediction, and yet the truth remains elusive, buried beneath layers of posts, screenshots, and cryptic statements. The family remains divided, emotions remain raw, and the public's fascination shows no sign of fading. So now, it's your turn. What do you think really happened behind the scenes? Was 50 Cent responsible for the leaks, or is there a hidden player pulling the strings? Did Claressa Shield overreact, or is she standing up for what's right? Comment your thoughts below, share your theories, and let us know how you feel about the drama that has captivated millions. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're shocked by these revelations, and subscribe for the latest updates, breaking rumors, and exclusive insights as this story continues to unfold. Your opinion matters. Join the conversation now and be part of the discussion surrounding one of the most explosive celebrity feuds of the year.